What's going on? My name's Justin and this is The Art of Repair. And today we're going to be talking about the greatest little microscottering microscope setup kit that you're ever going to find, because I've got something a little special for you. I'm going to show you how to set the whole thing up right now too. So if you are about to buy it, watch this video, and once you have bought it, come back, watch the video one more time, because I'm going to tell you all about how to put it together and set it up. It's as simple as that. So let's go ahead, let's dive right in. Let's see what we got here. We have a Simufocal Microscope Head. Okay, this is a Simufocal stereo microscope head. Now, there are other kinds that are very similar, and I'm going to go ahead and break that down real fast. The whole point here is that a Simufocal head will allow you to see through both of the eyepieces and the trinocular port at the exact same time. If you get a trinocular microscope head, and I know that's confusing, trinocular versus Simufocal trinocular, right? The whole point is, on a standard trinocular, you will find a pull knob right here that you pull, and that will allow you to see the camera, but what that also means is it's going to cover one of your eyes. That means you lose depth perception. That is not for our industry. That is an old, antiquated design that should not even be sold anymore in 2022 or wherever we're at now. Maybe it's 2030. I don't know when you're watching this video, but I'm telling you now, a standard trinocular head is just going to make you mad. Okay, it's going to make you real mad, because you can't do social media, you can't save things, you can't work at the same time that you're recording stuff. It just makes things really annoying. So we're not doing that. This is a Simufocal head, okay? Now, with that, we need to kind of go through here and actually build this thing up and get everything out there and give you all the information in between, right? So let's start at the top here, and I think we're actually going to go ahead and do the eyepieces first. If we take a look here and read on here, it's very, very simple. We see 10x/20. What does that mean? It means this is a 10x optical zoom with a 20 millimeter base. So if you're one of those people that decides, hey, you know, Justin doesn't really know what he's talking about, I'm going to go ahead and buy like a 20x. Knock yourself out. Just make sure you get the 20 millimeter, you know, diameter, or you're going to feel real bad. So let's go ahead and there's a screw in the top up here. Make sure you unscrew it first and then screw it in so that it doesn't scratch the side of it. Okay. We're going to put the other one in. And we're going to lock it in. The whole point of locking it in allows it to, you know, not fall out, right? And they're free to move around and stuff, but you get what I'm kind of going with there. Now, that's knocked out. We got that out of the way. Let's flip it around. Let's look at the actual trinocular port on the back, or the Simufocal trinocular port. You know what I'm saying? And let's take a look at the camera setup. Now, here's the deal. Cameras are super important in repair shops nowadays. Maybe if you're do-it-yourselfing it, it's not really as important. I think it's important all the way around, but having a camera so that you can document your work and share your work on social media so that you do your marketing is actually super important. So we have a 1080p 60 FPS camera here. Let's see, maybe I'm going to do it right this time. There we go. I've actually done this video like twice now, so you know how it goes. Sometimes you just got to do it again. Now the deal here is, if you want that 60 FPS, you're going to have to use the HDMI port and the power port right here. These two are going to be for 60 FPS output. If you want to just do the USB output to the computer, that'll give you webcam out at 30 FPS. That's the difference. Do me a favor, do yourself a favor. Don't plug in the USB and the power at the same time. USB will power this on its own. If you plug them both in, you'll get power fluctuation issues and it'll cut off and cut back on. I've seen that with a lot of units. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. Just think for a minute with your head and let's not do that, okay? Now, to put this thing on here, we're not going to do that thing where you see online where they've got like 10 miles of like tubing here. And if you watch my original videos, you'll see that too. It was because I didn't know any better. I still was learning myself. You know how it goes sometimes. And the whole deal is they wave to the side. And again, if you watch some of my first videos, you'll see that it creates like a blur in the image. It's really garbage, right? So what we have here is a reduction. There we go, a reduction lens. And this is actually got all the optical elements in it, and it brings everything down into a small package, okay? Now that it's in the small package, it's going to prevent the wobble, and it's going to allow you to focus it in the spot. Now, interesting enough, between these two, you might actually find that you actually need an adapter ring. And I say that because not all cameras and not all microscope head units are created equal, and sometimes they make the camera units a different mounting system, okay? So right on here right now, we have a C-mount Okay, and that's like an old like security camera standard, that kind of thing. And we'll find that sometimes if you already have a camera, right, you might already have one, that it doesn't focus no matter what you do with the focus internal to the head itself. So what we do is we put a 5mm spacer ring, and this comes in the kit. You don't have to worry about it. It comes in there and everything. What this does is it converts it from C mount or CS mount to C mount back or forth. You know, off the top of my head, I can't remember which one's converting to which, but it is definitely converting it to the other one, and that will fix everything for you. I remember how annoying this was for me, and when I solved it, I was like, oh man, that is so annoying. I had no clue that it was a different mount. So we got one of these in the kit for you. That way you won't have any other issues, and you know, you're gonna be good to go. So let's go ahead and put this thing on here. The way to put this on is we're just gonna set it on there, and we see that there's a little hex key right here, right? All we're gonna do, there we go, make sure it's opened up first, right? And then once we've got it locked in, it's not going to go anywhere. Now, here's the deal. Take your camera, screw it on the top, make sure your 5mm spacer's on there, right? We're locked in, but we see it's off to the side, right? So once we're locked in, we're going to unlock it just a little bit. We're going to turn it. We're going to lock it in the back, okay? Now we can see that this is all perfectly done. Now, interesting enough, I do recommend that, you know, you're kind of careful about your placement with this stuff on the bases because you don't want too much wire movement, right? So yeah, just you know, just something to think about. But let's go ahead, let's move down the unit, and let's see what we got here. We've actually got a little turn knob. This turn knob is the optical zoom. You know how it is, your brain loses it sometimes. This is the optical zoom that allows you to kind of get that distance closure, right? Far to close, close to far kind of thing, right? Goes from 0.7 all the way up to 4.5x. And if you do the math, you'll figure it all out, and you can actually see exactly what the magnification is, because what we're going to do next is we're going to add the final lens, which is a Barlow lens. Okay, this is going to magnify everything by whatever's written on here. Okay, so we've got 0.5x. That would mean that the bottom here, with the lens elements that are on here, are 1x. Dun, 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 dun. And you might be asking, Justin, why on earth do we want to change that to be less magnifying? Well, the deal is, like I said earlier, sometimes too much is too much. But also it's because of how we calibrate the microscope. We calibrate it by having a specific distance from the workpiece, okay? So like if, yeah, I think it's probably better at this angle, right? So the deal is when you're coming in like with your hot air or something like that, here we go, we got some hot air, woo! And you're coming in here to work, if you don't have room, sometimes you can't do stuff, right? And the distance from here is all dependent on the overall magnification of the lens itself right here, this Barlow lens. So at 1x, we only get 100 millimeters. It's hard to work. But with a 0.5x, we get 165 millimeters. So we have a lot of room to get in there and work and do our thing, okay? Now, let's go ahead, let's put that guy on there, and we're also gonna put one more lens on here, this guy right here. All this does is hold the light, and it's got a little glass element to prevent all the fumes from going up inside your microscope. That's all it is. It's nothing special. It's just a little protective lens, you know? You go out, you have a protective lens on your nice camera gear, you got a protective lens on your microscope lens, right? So I'm just gonna stick it in there and screw it on, very simple. And the final thing we're gonna do with the head unit is the camera. I'm sorry, the light. The light is the final thing. You guys, my brain sometimes is just all over the place. So maybe a little light will help me remember, right? So now this light is very, very bright. It's really all I can say about it. I've had multiple people come into my office and try to borrow it from other parts of the building here because their microscope light is not so good. So if you want a really bright one that's going to do the job, you got it right here. We're good to go. And that's just going to go on there. You can kind of see here, there's these little screw holes and stuff. All we're going to do is put it on here and tighten it, but we don't want to do that until we mount it into the base. So the last thing that we're going to talk about before we get into the bases is the focusing rack. Now, this is part of every base, so it's kind of universal, so we need to talk about it, okay? The focusing rack actually gives you that fine focus. You see how it's going up in just a little bit at a time? So when you get that optical zoom to where it goes, then you fine focus it, right? So let us go ahead, let's drop this thing in the focusing rack, and There is a screw here on the side, okay? Make sure it's undone first so that you don't scratch the unit, okay? I've done it a few times. We'll set that guy in there. He sits in the focusing rack now. He can move around. I don't even tighten the screw because I like it to kind of move around and stuff. And let us go ahead. Let's take the light, not the camera, because apparently I thought this was a camera, and let us just screw it in here, okay? Try to have each of the screws be a little even, right? And once it's on there, we will take our power cord and we will just plug it in, and now we have light. Now, let us go ahead, and I'll be honest, this thing's already at 165 millimeters. You can kind of see I've got a lot of working room. I can do a lot of stuff here. But let's go ahead and plug it in. Let's see if we can get an image. Hopefully this will work while I'm recording and actually start working, but you guys know how it goes. Hopefully that does not break everything in my recording software. So we're going to give that just 1 second here, and we're going to see if it worked, and we're going to take a look-see real fast. Let's see. Oh, hey, it picked it up. Sweet. Okay, so here's the deal. When we look at this and we want to calibrate it, we want this to be right. Like I said, first things first, this needs to be 165 millimeters with a 0.5x Barlow, okay? You're usually going to adjust that on the base, which we're going to talk about here in just a minute. But let's just assume that we're already correct, because we are already correct. We're at 165 millimeters, and that's from the work to the element, right? And then we're going to take the head, and you can see, the focusing rack, you see how it's going up and down? You're going to take it and make it even here, and then you're going to take the optical zoom, and you're going to go halfway too, right? So a little past 2, right? Now the point of that is we're right in the middle of everything, and you can see we're not really in focus right now. So what we need to do is these eyepieces right here, this actually controls your interpupillary distance, the distance between your eyes. You're going to take the circles that you see, and you're going to cross them over each other. That's going to give you a 3D image, a stereoscopic image, okay? So now I'm good. And, interesting enough, I'm actually basically in focus here, okay? But when you look here, I'm not in focus at all. Remember we were talking about the extension adapter and the reduction lens? This is where that comes into play, okay? So once you're in focus here, so I'm perfectly in focus in the microscope, I'm going to use this ring at the top, okay? We can see right here, I'm just going to use this ring. I'm going to turn it back and forth. And there we go. We did it. We took the head, we built everything up, you know all the stuff now, you're good to go, and I think it's time that we actually talk about the different bases.